Yo, what's up guys? This is Kev. Today we are taking a look at one of the most hyped and discussed pedals of 2025 so far, the somewhat recent collaboration between Chase Bliss and Analogman, the Brothers AM dual channel Overdrive. Well, let's go ahead and see what all the hype is about and see what this puppy can do. Quick little housekeeping before we dive into the Brothers AM. If you are a guitarist, a musician, or you just love nerding out on gear, make sure to subscribe to the channel below and ring the bell so you're notified the next time we drop a video. We're getting things cooking over here, so there's a lot more to come. For those of you that might not be aware, the Brothers AM is a collaboration between Chase Bliss and Analogman, and it's designed to be a modern recreation of the King of Tone dual overdrive pedal with some modern features and twists that are uniquely Chase Bliss. Currently, I think the wait list to get a brand new King of Tone from Analogman is around 6 years. And then if you want to purchase one on the used market, the cost is extreme. So one problem that the Brothers AM immediately solves is you're able to access the coveted King of Tone sound in a pedal that you can buy brand new and receive right away from Chase Bliss, but it also offers extended features well beyond the original King of Tone pedal from Analogman. So I'm going to be taking kind of a slightly different approach to this video than I think a lot of other Brothers AM reviewers out there have taken. A lot of the videos that I've seen are more comparison videos between the Brothers AM and the King of Tone, and how the Brothers stacks up to the King of Tone, the similarities, the differences, etc. I'm going to focus more on the Brothers AM kind of on its own and give you my thoughts on the pedal just as its own thing, as its own entity. And the main reason for that is honestly, for a lot of reasons. They're hard to come by, they're expensive. I haven't spent a tremendous amount of time with the King of Tone. During my time working at Seymour Duncan, one of my colleagues had one and I borrowed it for a gig. I remember loving it, but that's about the extent of my familiarity with that pedal. So I'm going to, like I said, be taking a look at the Brothers as its own standalone thing, separate from the King of Tone, and how I feel about the pedal just on its own. So simply put, the Brothers AM is a 2-channel overdrive pedal. The channels are independent. You can use channel 1, channel 2, or cascade 1 into 2. For either of the 2 overdrive channels, you can select either a boost, overdrive, or distortion mode. The boost setting gives you the most kind of clean headroom. Overdrive mode, I think, engages soft clipping, and distortion mode engages hard clipping. Dialing in the 2 overdrive channels on the Brothers AM is really pretty simple. You kind of have your classic volume, gain, and tone knobs for each channel. Then from there, either channel is further customizable using the dip switches on the back of the pedal here. For each channel, you can engage a high gain mode, which adds about 25% more gain to each channel depending on how you have the dip switches set. There's also a third gain stage featured on the pedal. It's this mini toggle in the center of the pedal here, and that engages a selectable treble boost circuit. That treble boost actually comes before channel 1. So if you have all 3 gain stages engaged, your signal's going to enter the pedal, it'll hit the treble booster will then hit channel 1, that'll then cascade cascade into channel 2. Last but not least, the Brothers AM also offers 4 programmable presets that you can save onto the pedal, and it also offers what feels like infinite expression control, which you can manage via the dip switches in the back and an expression pedal. Now, I'm a pretty simple guy, especially when it comes to overdrive pedals, so I'm not going to really dive too much into those features, and that's not really how I use the pedal based on my personal preferences, but it's awesome that Chase Bliss makes those features available on the Brothers. All right, without further ado, we will go ahead and listen to some more of the tones that I dialed in with the Brothers for the track at the top of the video. We'll be listening to those isolated so you can hear a little bit more of the detail, and between each clip, I will go ahead and kind of explain what I was going for sonically with each tone. So let's go ahead and take a listen. For that first rhythm tone that you hear coming out the gate, I used the bridge humbucker on my Knaggs Kenai. By the way, just gotta say, I absolutely love this guitar, everything about it. The tonal quality that I wanted to achieve was kind of a fat, crunchy rhythm tone that was both aggressive but thick and not brittle in any way. And so I was able to really easily achieve that with the Brothers. I wrote this kind of funky upper register neck position telly part, and for that I really wanted it to have some grit and also a little bit of harmonic hair on top so that it didn't sound so classic funk and had a little bit more of that rock edge to it. And so I was able to use channel 1 of the Brothers AM to really easily achieve that in tandem with the treble boost circuit. So for the first little solo excerpt in the track, I used the neck position of my Dawn Grosh Strat, and I wanted to go for something that was a little aggressive but not over the top. So I had both channels of the Brothers AM cascading into one another. Channel 1 was set to boost mode, channel 2 was set to distortion mode for hard clipping, and I also flipped on the high gain setting. And it really gave me this nice aggressive sound, but also creamy and retained the Stratty character. So for the second section, or kind of the B section of the tune, I wrote this kind of broken cowboy chord arpeggiated thing. For the middle position on the telly, I wanted to create a tone that was sparkly, but also gave a little bit of an edge of breakup thing, just to give a little bit of attitude to an otherwise totally clean kind of Fender Deluxe sound. So for that, I just used channel 1 on the Brothers AM on the boost setting and dialed the tone up to about 3 o'clock and was able to get a really beautiful chimey sound. So for the solo excerpt on the B section, I wanted to write something a little more lyrical. For that, I used this custom Telecaster with a humbucker-sized Filtertron from Seymour Duncan in the bridge. I wanted to capture a little bit of a distorted, sustainy Gretsch sound. So for that, I dialed in the Brothers AM using both channel 1 and channel 2 on the standard gain modes, both on the overdrive setting, and was able to capture a really nice, not over-the-top drive sound, but something beyond edge of breakup that gave me a lot of sustain and was really beautiful. For the final solo excerpt of the tune, I wanted to kick it up a notch, and for that I went back to my Knaggs Kenai. I used the bridge position humbucker paired with both channels of the Brothers AM. I used the channel 1 boost and set channel 2 to distortion, both again on standard gain mode. This time I dialed up the gain on channel 2, dialed back the gain on channel 1, and was able to get a really sustaining lead tone that was both aggressive but smooth. I am a blues breaker guy. I'm a fan of that circuit and generally a fan of most pedals that are based on the blues breaker. Some are better than others, obviously, but generally I'm a blues breaker guy. The King of Tone was fundamentally based on a blues breaker, obviously with Analog Mike's own signature tweaks, components to make the King of Tone what it is. That being said, the Brothers AM is a phenomenal, foundationally blues breaker-esque overdrive. I found that no matter how I had the clipping set on either channel, whether I was using a channel independently or cascading one into two, whether I was dialing in a low gain setting or a high gain setting, the Brothers AM was just really musical in just about any context. With a lot of pedals, particularly the tone control or EQ controls, if the controls are too active and have a really drastic sweep from when the knob is off to when the knob is all the way dimed, I find that there's really only a couple little sweet spots on the control that are really musical and usable. And that was not the case on the Brothers AM. Whether I had the tone control, you know, all the way off, the tone was still buttery and creamy and rich. And when the tone control was dimed, even if I was using the bridge pickup on a Telly, it was never ice picky. And everything in between sounded great too. So it was a really nice range on the tone controls, but every setting was musical, and I really like that about the Brothers. Same thing with the gain controls, whether I was using it in the lowest gain setting, highest gain setting, it always sounded great. Drop a comment below if you own a King of Tone or the Brothers AM or both, and let me know if you found that the controls on the King of Tone are similar to the Brothers in that way, and let me know kind of what you think of the dialability of the Brothers AM down below. I'm curious to see what you guys think. There were really only a couple things that I struggled with on the Brothers AM that sort of stuck out to me. One was I thought that the general noise floor of the pedal wasn't particularly low. Now, granted, the only space that I've used this pedal at this point is with one rig in my studio. The minute I received the pedal, I opened it up in here and shot this video. So I haven't totally run it through its paces in like a show setting or a gig setting or anything like that. The only other little qualm I had, especially when dialing in tones for the track at the top of the video, in higher gain settings, I had trouble utilizing the treble booster, regardless of which of the two treble booster circuits I chose. I thought it would start to get a little bit brittle and almost fuzzy in a way that I didn't think was the most attractive. But again, that comes down to personal preference, and I would love to hear in the comments section what you guys think of the treble boosters. If you like them, don't like them, would love to hear your thoughts. If you guys dug this video, please make sure to like it, leave a comment, let me know what you dug, how you feel about the Brothers, and make sure to subscribe to the channel so that you're notified the next time we drop a video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.